Morning guys, how are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So straight over to those charts. So yeah, as you can see, we had a bit of a wick down just now, but we were bid up pretty quickly. If I show you guys on the 15-minute time frame, you can kind of see that it was a bit of a crazy move. This is again just part of the scamminess that is Bitcoin. So yeah, difficult trading conditions when we are sort of stuck in a range and price action isn't really moving, isn't trending, then we often get moves like this. So this did actually stop me out of a bot trade as well, which is a bit annoying because then it immediately went into profit after. So oh well, it is what it is. But yeah, so you can see yeah, we were bought back up pretty strongly, and now sort of trading at the middle of that range. We'll go back over to the 4 hour now. Now sort of trading at the middle of that range. You can see we are still, for the time being, testing this upper side resistance, and we haven't even got down to test this lower area of around well, basically starting at 9,500. We've had some wicks attempting to get there, but they haven't quite made it. They've got to the low 9,500, so that's not too bad, but we are getting bid up. So I mean, you will note there are a lot of long lower wicks going on in Bitcoin here, so that potentially is showing that there is buying pressure, at least on this smaller term time frame. Obviously, we don't know if we have a big volume come in and break us through these lower ranges at least. Then obviously I'd expect a big move down, especially on the basis that on this shorter term time frame price action we can sort of see that there are buyers coming in the market on these dips. Obviously on this dip too, so there's people long that are potentially fodder to get liquidated if we do volume comes in and basically takes us below this level. So yeah, that's not necessarily what has to happen though, or even potentially the likeliest scenario, but it's just something we have to be aware of. But we've got clear defined levels again. It's the same clear defined levels, basically 9,400. I mean, I'd go so far as the fact to not even say this 9,300 now, and just say the bottom of the range around 9,400 in confluence with the bottom of these wicks. I think taking out those levels, I think will pretty quickly get us down to basically this level here, and then whether we get supported there and whip back into the pennant, we'll just have to see how it plays out. But I would expect a bounce there at least. But that, yeah, like I said though, that's the downside potential covered for the short term potential move. But yeah, upside wise, I mean, we are just knocking on the door. I mean, maybe that would have been our time to break through if it just didn't happen to be a 4 hour TD9, which then obviously indicated triggered some people to sell. But yeah, potentially once we get back above now, I think we could, I mean, if we get back above 9,800, I think it is very likely we will get back above 10,000 in relative short order. I don't mean like a candle straight up like this, but I just mean because I believe this was a bit more scammy price action, so I believe more organic price action will break above here, trade around here, and then trade above 10,000. That's what that for me is the most likely scenario. But obviously it's very easily invalidated by trading below 9,400. So yeah, I mean, we are just, it's a difficult zone to trade because you want to really be looking, trading generally, especially in Bitcoin, when you get these big moves, you want to be looking for those actual breakout moves because they are big. They're just the big profit, big potential moves. So at the moment, it's difficult. Well, we're not really getting any of those, and we're sort of just getting wicks slightly in directions just to stop people out of like their sort of breakout kind of trades. But I mean, it is, I mean, if you want to scale it back one more level, sorry, not scale it back what I'm trying to say, but if you want to basically be one higher level of conservativeness rather than not necessarily buying above this zone, you could just wait till we break above here again, 10,000, or again you can obviously wait till we break and close candles, say a 4 hour candle below 9,400, and then just basically just sack off this whole range, sack off trading this whole range. Because look, you can see here again, it was a very choppy range, look, and we could have more of this going on here, again. I mean, you can see how low we wicked below here and then came back up again, and then we're all the way back at the top of the range. I mean, we very likely could get more of that. What we've had is this massive high, well, we had very low volatility, which led to this massive high volatility, which then relative to this we've actually started to slow down and slow down even more. So then you would pretty much expect a higher volatility, and that higher volatility may only be in the form of sort of this sort of price range here, which is still like, say, roughly 10,000 to roughly, well, we'll call it an $800 range. So we could be trading pretty soon within an $800 range, but still capped between these two support and resistance zones with potential just wicks above and below. But yeah, do I still maintain we can maybe come back and test this this thing as support? Yeah, pretty much. But then again, that goes with my thesis really. If we break below 9,400 back into it, I think we'll have a more sustained move down. But obviously, just wicking or trading into the zone and bouncing off, that is basically what I think is a likely scenario. It is a clear defined trend line that is sort of being respected. So that's something we have. I mean, it does have relevance, as much as I'm not the biggest fan of non-horizontal lines, but yeah, but that this one does look pretty important. So yeah, so I do believe today, it's hard to say what will happen really, whether we'll get the expanding volatility over the weekend, but I think we're gonna potentially make a move back above here, and then if we can hold above there, then happy days. I think we'll be looking pretty good, especially into the weekly closing candle. Let's just get it. Yeah, because that will obviously put us up here, which, I mean, I guess body wise, I mean, that's I don't think we're obviously in the next just today we're going to get above here, but body wise at least it will be on the bullish side. So yeah, failing that though, if we do obviously close the candle below 9,400, it'll be looking like a very bearish looking candle on a weekly 9. So I wouldn't like to see that as a Bitcoin bull. I wouldn't like to see that. When I say a Bitcoin bull, that just means I would like Bitcoin to go up. It doesn't mean I'm going to have any bias in my analysis. But yeah, and then clearly we've got a low of this candle, which comes in with the very important zone of around 8,600. And yeah, failing that, taking that out, we clearly are putting a sort of a macro top here, and then we will almost certainly, not a financial advice, proceed to make some downside over the next basically the next month or so, and then until we can find our footing at a lower price. So that's the bearish. I mean, again, here we go, we've clearly got the, you guys know how I love to trade the TD sequential 9s. I mean, that's the high of this candle, basically a break above that 9, and then that's full on continuation, and that's normal in a normally trading market. But obviously breaking above this 9 here and this level is of massive significance to Bitcoin in the larger term time frame. So I think that would propel us straight up to this level, and then consolidate around there, maybe come back and play out this zone, and then it's Bitcoin bull run 2020. So yeah, 12-hour Stokes, still not a lot of direction here, not a lot of direction there, so we can't really read too much into that. Daily Stokes still sloping down, but they've not taken a steep slope down, so these have got the potential to turn back up if price action does break above this 9,800 zone. And yeah, and then the 4-hour Stokes, not much we can read from that. Not much we can read from that we can't just read from looking where the price action is. So yeah, I think that's what we're looking at today. If this 4-hour candle prints like this in a couple of hours, which, I mean, who knows what it'll do, that's a long time in Bitcoin, then yeah, potentially the low of this candle will be the impetus to get us basically down to this support zone and potentially break it. But yeah, trade it, and obviously trading, you guys know, obviously I've already been over the bull side, bull case scenario, trading above this at 9,800, I think. It does basically look very good for price action. And yeah, so that's it. That's all I've really got, guys. Range and stop. I mean, you can tell by the range and stop, we're not really making the extremes. I mean, this move down here got us relatively close to it, so that wasn't too bad. I was actually looking at 3 commas to try and set up a bot that would base on range and stop, so there would be the midpoint, the high and the low, and then it would just buys and sells and buys and sells as a grid bot would on, as you guys know, on 3 commas that you guys that use it. But I was finding it a bit more difficult to implement, at least on BitMEX. So I may actually look to implement that on a different exchange, because I do believe that could be pretty good as a strategy. So I'll look into that anyway, so look out for that one, guys. And anyway, so remember, not a financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, always do your own research, and I will speak to you guys soon.